Mash your button. There you go.
Okay, thank you, Chairman Graham, Ranking Member Feinstein, members of this committee, for the opportunity to testify on this issue of importance of safety of workers in the grocery industry, healthcare, and meatpacking. My name is Marc Perrone. I'm the president of the United Food and Commercial Workers International Union. I'm also a Texan. The UFCW is America's largest food and retail union, representing 1.3 million hardworking men and women in grocery stores, meat packing, food processing, healthcare, chemical plants, retail, and senior care facilities. We have members that are Republican, Democrat, and Independent. They come from every state and every congressional district. As you know, all across this country, America's food workers are risking their health and safety to ensure our nation's food supply is safe, the grocery store shelves are stocked, and the pharmacies are delivering medication. These essential workers are on the front lines of this crisis every single day, a crisis that would be so much worse if it weren't for these workers. The simple fact is this: in order to protect America's food supply, we must protect Americans' workers. To date, 162 of my members have tragically died. I have 25,000 that have been struck with this disease or exposed. With respect to our meatpacking and food processing workers, we're already witnessing some of the consequences when significant steps are not taken early enough to protect these workers. OSHA, the agency that's in charge of ensuring employers provide safe working conditions, has in fact failed to issue enforceable orders specific to COVID-19. The longer this continues, the more workers will get sick and possibly more will die. If these workers are essential, as every elected official has said up to the President of the United States, then this nation must provide them with essential protections. These protections must be enforceable. That's why we do support strong uniform standards to ensure workers are safe, and we do reject the calls to employer immunity, because we believe that that would exacerbate some of the more outlaw employers that we may have in this country. To be clear, this is not about being anti-business, it's about being pro-safety. Immunity laws could send dangerous messages that the safety of these workers is not a company's responsibility. It is their responsibility, however, and I believe it's our government's responsibility to ensure that every food worker and meat packing facility should be required to implement strategies to reduce the risk of these workers who face this pandemic. The safety measures that must be adopted must be enforceable and must be based in science. They must be designed with one goal in mind: to protect the workers that protect our food supply. More specifically, we must have policies that enforce social distancing, provide that personal protective equipment that we so desperately need, mandatory testing, contact tracing, and we need to slow these line speeds down some. Essential worker pay and provide sick pay, much like Brother Smart's doing for his workers. While none of us would have envisioned such a devastating pandemic, we must not provide a blanket of immunity that makes it more likely that some of these workers will be taken advantage of. Our state and federal governments, as well as our nation's largest corporations, have a responsibility to do what's right. And let me end by saying this: this virus doesn't care whether or not you're a Republican or whether or not you're a Democrat. It should not be about party or politics. This is about health and safety of our nation's food workers and our food supply. And as such, no company should be shielded from the responsibility for adopting irresponsible practices that foster the spread of this virus through their facilities. for the sake of this country that I know that we all love, I urge you to work together to do what's right for these workers. And again, thank you for your time, and I'd be pleased to answer any questions you may have.